taking a look at the Leatherman Surge. This is the Cabelas exclusive edition. Really, there's not a lot different between this and the regular Leatherman Surge, except for it's laser engraved with the Cabelas logo. In this video, I'll give you a close look at it, go over its features, and compare it to my Leatherman Surge in the black finish. Alright, so this is my stepdad's Leatherman Surge, and this is my Leatherman Surge. Mine's a couple years older than his is. He just got this past Christmas. But I was interested in taking a look at the differences in finish and see how they compare to each other. So let's go over the features of this multi-tool. You can see that you've got a smooth edge on the edge of this knife, so that's your straight blade. Just a regular cutting blade there. And if you close it and flip it around, you see that you've got some kind of like serrations here, and that denotes that it is the serrated blade. And I really like this blade. I think that these serrations are very useful for cutting lots of materials. Got your scissors, and these are a nice set of scissors. I think that they're easy to use, they're not overly small, and just really handy scissors to have on a multi-tool. Sometimes I think multi-tools have scissors that are awkward or too small, and I don't care for those. And then you've got a tool exchanger here. He has the saw blade on this one, and this basically just uses a standard hacksaw blade. And if you release this latch here, you can see that it just accepts a standard jigsaw blade. And then they also include, with the purchase, a file, a coarse file, and a diamond file, and you can just swap that out and have a file instead of your saw blade if you feel you would use the file more than the saw blade, or you can keep one in your pouch or pocket and swap it out as needed. So that covers the tools on the outside. Get it opened up here. And you've got your combination pliers, you've got your needle nose, your standard pliers, your wire cutters, your heavy wire cutters. And I like the fact that these wire cutters here are replaceable. On this side here you've got an awl, a large flathead prying tool, and a small flathead prying tool. And on this side you've got your cap lifter, can opener, wire stripper combination, so you can strip your wires, you can open your can and lift your caps. And then you have your large bit exchanger. You can swap it between your standard Phillip and your flathead. And then I carry a little pouch that allows me to bring along my 42 extra bits. And I keep my file in this here, and it just fits real flat in my pocket. But having this variety of bits is super handy, and the bit extension, just to be able to use this more like a standard screwdriver. Put your bit extension in, your screwdriver, and it gives you that extra reach, and it feels a little more familiar like a screwdriver would. The extension isn't coming out of the center, but I have not noticed that to be anything of an inconvenience. When Gerber came out with their center drive and they made such a big deal about, oh, well, the bit extension is in the center. I thought, well, I guess that's nice, but at the end of the day, I like the ability to be able to use an extension or to use more of a stubby setup if I wanted to. I feel like this gives you more options, and it's not that expensive to purchase the extension. So I like the bit exchanger myself personally on the Leatherman tools more than the Gerber center drives that I have handled in the stores. And then go over the sheath that it comes with. It's got kind of like a hybrid leather and nylon sheath with some elastic. And if you have the bit extension, it's got some room in there for that. And if you wanted to keep your file in, you could fit that in on the other side. Now I question whether or not that would ever twist and fall out that way and then you would lose it. I'm not sure if, yeah, that, I don't know. I think that that's too possible. It's too likely to happen for me to want to put anything on that outside. Maybe you could fit a nice pen in there with a clip on it, but then you put your multi-tool in there and it's got a nice snap. You can put it through your belt this way so it's sitting vertical, or this way so it's sitting horizontal. I've never used these. I've got my custom leather by Dale Pack Station Makers in Yakima, Washington, and I prefer to use this. I feel like having that weight distributed across your belt that much really helps that tool wear nicely on your belt, opposed to something like this, where if you're running it through this way, your strong points are here, 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 and here, and I can just see this small section of leather eventually wearing out, and I would probably catch this edge on something and just rip it right off my side. That's just what I would expect if I were to use this. I'm sure that there are some Leatherman guys out there that have been using these Leatherman pouches for a long time and have had no issues with them. I just don't know that I would trust my Leatherman tool in something like this. I think I would end up ripping it right off my belt. Going over the finishes here, you can see that this one here has got a couple wear marks in the high spots, but I think that the finish is actually holding up quite nicely for 2.5, maybe 3 years of use. I mean, I think that the finish really has stood up really well the test of time here. And, you know, I don't get this thing out and thump on it all day, every day, but, you know, it has come in handy quite a bit. Well, I guess that's the difference there. You got the black blade opposed to the silver blade that comes with the stainless version. So that's kind of nice that they don't just throw a silver blade, a silver jigsaw blade in with the blacked out version. So you can see some wear marks on my blacked out version, but I don't think that it looks bad. I think it looks used, and I think for 3 years of use, it actually looks pretty good. But if you like the stainless variant, that looks pretty alright too. Alright, well, it's a big world out there, and we're bound to run into a shady situation. Until then, keep your gear on you.
I'm really, really sorry. I apologize unreservedly. I offer a complete and utter retraction. The imputation was totally without basis in fact and was in no way fair comment and was motivated purely by malice. And I deeply regret any distress that my comments may have caused you or your family, and I hereby undertake not to repeat any such slander at any time in the future.
Steady on, Matthew. Return to your post. Good lad.